It's August 19, 2019. It's been kind of wet here in Seattle. Let's start the update over here with the ficus tree. You can see the tree is getting a lot fuller. Here we have the elephant food plant and the Frizzle sizzle. You can see the flowers are getting really big. The leaves are looking good. But yeah, I'm very excited for these flowers to open. Looks like the flower's gonna be yellow. Over here we have the tomatoes. You can see a lot more tomatoes are gonna turn red pretty soon. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot more tomatoes to harvest soon. Over here we have this wildflower. Yeah, it's a lot of flowers and I've been seeing a lot of pollinators around. Lavender is looking good. As you can see, I pruned the bush a little bit, so it looks a lot better now. Rosemary looks pretty much the same. This one as well. Hydrangea, you can see I've pruned it. So there's some new growth. Peony looks pretty much the same. Over here we have the pineapple. You can see this top part of the plant is looking a lot healthier because that's the new growth, and the leaves are a lot thicker and stronger too. And then let's look at the green onion. You can see some bulb structure forming at the base of the plant. Curious what it's like, but yeah, the green onion leaves are still really healthy. Right here we have the succulent pot. You can see the succulents I transplanted are doing really well with lots of new growth. And right here, this one, you can see I transplanted it from the indoor pot. And it's actually sending out a tiny new growth on the side, this one. And the mulberry is looking pretty much the same as usual, just lots of leaves. And a dahlia, you can see some more flower buds forming over here. And last week I cut one of the flowers that has opened for indoor. So you can see, which is right here. It's looking pretty good. And down here we have the lily of the valley. Let's look at the little fruits. This one over here, you can see they're still green. And then these ones over here are also green too. The lily of the valley looks like it's slowly dying back now. You can see the leaves are slightly yellow. The blueberry, you can see a lot of fruits are still maturing, turning blue. So yeah, there's a lot more fruit to harvest. And if you look on the floor, there's a lot less fallen fruits. So that's a good sign, I think. And the calla lily, you can see the fruits that contains the seeds are forming inside the flower. If you look closely at the center of the flower, there's some green lumpy things. Those are the fruits. Maybe you can see a little better under the sunlight. Now the strawberries. This one, you can see the slug has got the fruit before me. So yeah, that's going to trash. And you can see some other fruits forming. They're all in pretty nice shape. You can see this one is not quite red yet. And there's another one over here. This one is pretty much ready to harvest. Very nice strawberry shapes. And then right here is a few more fruits forming. You can see they're all in pretty nice shape, thanks to bees and other pollinators. And right here is another fruit, and this one is definitely ready to harvest. It's very red, and yeah, the size is pretty substantial too. And you can see the strawberry plants are still sending out a lot of runners. Like these one over here, you can see a lot of runners. And also on this pot, you can see some strawberries forming too. Like this one over here is super nice. This is like one of the best strawberries I've ever grown. Now let's look at the hydrangea. You can see some new flowers forming on this this branch over here, and you can see the color is purple. And the older flowers are kind of reddish, and you can see some of them are kind of turning green. Especially for this one over here, you can see the flowers are really turning green. And right here, something interesting is happening. You can see at the node, this hydrangea is trying to send out some new flowers at the node, which I've never seen before. Here we have the plain coorpsis. You can see it's still sending out a lot of flowers. And the asparagus, it's looking pretty much the same. You can see I removed that one branch that has turned yellow. And let's look at the raspberry. This branch is getting super heavy, as you can see, because of all this beautiful gigantic fruits. And these are actually the best raspberries I have grown. They're pretty much perfectly pollinated. So yeah, from here you can see these fruits are pretty much ready for harvest. All the way down here are some new fruits forming. Let's check out the other branch. So at the tip of the other branch you can see this huge gigantic raspberries as well. Like this red one is ready for harvest, and then the other ones are still maturing. So from the tip of the branch, slowly going downwards, you can see more fruits forming. Like right here, you can see some pollinated flowers, these ones. But if you look closely, I don't think these ones are pollinated as well as the ones that are closer to the tip of the branch. And I think it's because it's more difficult for the pollinators to access the flowers that's not at the tip of the branch, like these ones. These are all the fruits I harvested today, August 19th, 2019. Over here we have the grapes. Grapes looks pretty much the same. It's just still growing. You can see all the vines are getting a lot longer. Feel like they should cling on something though. Over here we have the rhubarb. Same as last week, you can see this random flower spike forming. Over here we have the potato. Plant looks pretty much the same. If we look at the soil, you can see this purple potato poking up from the soil, like last week. We're probably gonna see more of these in the next few weeks. I'll keep you updated. And here we have the artichoke. You can see the flower. I think it has completely opened. Very beautiful. I actually haven't seen any bees around this flower though, which is kind of surprising. And if you look at the base of the artichoke plants, you can see some baby plants forming. As for the indoor garden, here we have the succulents. You can see this little plant over here is still hanging around. And this guy over here, if you look at the base of the plants, you can see some more baby plants forming from the side. And for the orchids, let's look at the Venus slipper orchid first. The flower has completely opened. yeah, and here's the second flower. Both are looking great. And if you look closely at the base of the plants, you can see this guy over here is sending out actually 2 new plants. And the other plant you can see at the base is also sending out a new plant right here. And the other orchids are all doing really well. Like this one over here, you can see a new growth coming out from the base. And the other orchid is also sending out some new growth. Like right here at the center, you can see this tiny new growth coming out nicely. And this new growth was trapped under the moss. So this is what it looked like when I found this new growth. And so I dug it out. And yeah, it's looking pretty good now. Let's look at the Phalaenopsis. This new leaf, you can see it's getting bigger now. Very shiny. And just a lot more root growth. Here we have the mini Oncidium. This little flower over here is actually pretty much done. So you can see it has fallen. On the other side of the plants is another flower spike right here. It's looking pretty weird, but we'll see. And these orchid over here, you can see this new leaves are looking really healthy. It's pretty long and big. This mini Oncidium isn't doing too much, and this same orchid over here is looking really healthy too. Also, I removed that little bulb thing because it was turning yellow and rotting. Ivy, more succulents. The Easter cactus, one part of the plant actually broke, so I just put it back into the soil. It's probably going to propagate itself. And as you can see, I cleared out the Wandering Jew. Hopefully it'll start some new growth at the base, but it's not looking too good. And you can see all the plants I cut off, I now have put them in water, and they are already rooting now. Over here we have the snake plant, so you can see a little new growth coming out. This variety of snake plant is doing really well too. This new growth though, you can see it's producing some kind of like a thick syrupy thing from that middle new leaf, which is interesting. There might be some injuries. Speaking of injury, you can see this succulent is injured from the top. And the Hoya plants. One of the new growth, you can see this new leaf is getting bigger. And this major new growth over here, you can see it's still getting longer and it's sending out more new leaves. Over here we have the spider plants. You can see it's sending out another flower spike right here. And this newer flower spike is flowering, you can see right here. Pear plant, I'm gonna show you all the pear plants I have actually, but this main plant is still flowering. And at the base, you can see this new growth forming. It's really hard to see, but there's a little spiky thing coming out from the soil. And this other smaller prayer plants, you can see the leaves are really pigmented. And it's actually pretty surprising because this plant over here is not receiving as much light as the other pear plants. And right here is the pear plants that I have in water. You can see a lot of roots. And the plant is still looking healthy. Here we have the staghorn fern. Yeah, let's look at the shield front. You can see it's still getting bigger. It's still spreading outward. And on this side over here, you can see another shield frond forming. It's still pretty tiny, like last week. If you look closely, you can see a new growth over there. That's going to send out more antler fronds. And I haven't updated you on the arrowhead plants. You can see I also cut off and clean up the plants because it's getting a little too messy. And I put the plant into water. Roots has not formed yet, but it's going to form pretty soon. Lastly, we have the philodendron. You can see the vines are getting super long. It's very happy plants.